Hey everyone, my name is Nicole-Bethany, and I'm the host of our podcast, the Freshman Adult Podcast, coming to you from my vehicle. Yes, the very vehicle I got locked out of. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and tune in to episode 4 of the Freshman Adult Podcast, where I talk a little bit about how I managed to get myself in that situation, but what that situation actually started teaching me. I decided, you know what? I think this is a great opportunity for me to come in and be right here in this vehicle. Um, I've been wanting to do it in here for a while, and I like it. I like it. I have to work a little bit on some other things. It took me a while. So I lost a little bit of time, recording time, but I just wanted to come on here and greet you and say, hey, if you haven't already done so, follow me on my Instagram at the Nicole-Bethany and join the community. Let's stay connected with one another. Follow the Freshman Adult Pod, all of the information about the community to join, and also just keeping acquainted with me and up to date with me as well is all in the description below. Okay? I'm trying to, I see like a bug. And I'm like, please leave me alone. Get out of here. Um, I think that's about it, actually. I want to just jump right into our topic of conversation today. I wanted to share just something that I learned from a really difficult experience that I've been having and what I believe might be helpful for you. And so, yeah, let's get into it. I'm wondering if I said everything I need to say. I'm truly wondering. I think I said everything. And let you know I'm the host. I introduced myself. Yeah. Oh, also, I had technical difficulties last week. So if you were like, hey, I looked last week, I didn't see any the podcast recording on Spotify or Apple Music, I apologize. I am going to make sure that I over communicate with you all in advance when there's a delay on the podcast because there was last week. But I am also vlogging myself recording to, in a way, hold myself accountable, but also to invite you in on the process. So if you're listening to this podcast, wherever you're listening to this, please go ahead and follow me on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Nicole-Bethany. You can look up the Freshman Adult Podcast, Nicole-Bethany, and you should see my information pop up. And of course, in the show notes, I'll leave that information to you as well so that you can see some of the stuff that I have to deal with just to record. And that's a good segue into our conversation today. I want to talk a little bit about just process. And please excuse any lisp that you hear. Um, just dealing with something right now, but so it may be a little much, but I'm going to try my best to enunciate the best that I can. So, not going to be long with you at all. Just wanted to take some time and talk about this topic, process. Process. How does that word make you feel? I want to share a story of just how I've been navigating process as an adult and as a freshman adult, the challenges of process and some of the, I would say, unresolved tensions that I have with process due to some of the experiences I've had in the past with process. We've talked a lot about how embracing the freshman adult feeling is really important. Embracing that freshman feeling. What does that mean? That feeling of everything, either of something or everything. Feeling new, feeling like new territory, feeling like something you never experienced before. It could feel exciting in that regard, or it can feel terrifying, or it can feel like a little bit of both. I have felt all three of those options and then some. And I appreciate you all because you all are really great at responding and reaching out. I'm just getting some messages or just people sharing with me or even leaving comments in, on YouTube and everywhere else, just expressing gratitude for the conversations we've been having. So if you too have been enjoying these conversations, please let me know. It really helps me. Go ahead and give this a 5-star rating, or you could also just leave a comment or a review. So that way I understand what are some things that are resonating with you so that we can lean into those conversations because 15 to 20 minutes isn't really enough for some of the things that I think some of the things we're talking about. I want to provide that space and also have that dialogue like I shared in the last episode. So, I am not one that really likes process. I like the idea of doing something and getting to the finish line quickly. And I think a lot of people are like that, but I can only speak for myself. I don't want to speak generally, but perhaps you relate. I remember 3 years ago, I was realizing that the reason why I was not seeing my fitness goals is because I didn't want to endure the process required for me to actually get to the goal. I had to come to a place where, and this was with help with a fitness coach that I had and who was also a certified nutritionist. And she helped me understand a little bit of why my mindset needed to shift in order for me to actually reach my goal. I've also experienced wanting to reach goals, maybe in productivity, for example. And forgive the noise, by the way. Like, I hope it's not too noisy. And if it is, I apologize. But I also have seen on the flip side, well, really, it's not a flip side. What am I saying? I think I misspoke. I What I'm trying to say is I also have seen as well, like me trying to get to a certain goal, productivity wise, and I've taken courses and been a part of programs that teach how to execute effectively. And part of that execution strategy is your process. What is your process? What is your process? Last week, I was basically asking, what's your process when you get into an emergency situation? Very simple. Very simple. Like, what is your process when you get into an emergency situation? Is your process you get really upset, frustrated, and you start having anxiety and you don't do anything and you just get stuck? Or is it maybe you get a little anxious or you get a little afraid and you have someone you know you can call on speed dial? Or you have someone that you know that you can reach out to come pick you up or ask you or get you things that you need in the case of an emergency. Freshman adult, are you prepared for the both the ups and downs of life? That's a recap from last week. Today I'm asking this. How do you handle those processes? Processes? I hope that's correct. How do you handle them? So I could have a moment that is a down, but that's a part of, I believe, a process or that requires a certain process and ultimately requires a particular response. Or maybe doesn't require but elicits it. If something urgent happens to me, I have the option to respond a few different ways. I could respond in anxious ways. I can respond with solution oriented ways. I can respond with somewhere in between. There's so many different ways in which we can choose to respond. So, how do you respond to process? Let's go back to the story of when I was trying to lose weight. So, back in 2023, actually the end of 2022, I had this thought. I was like, nah, I gotta lose weight. It's interesting. I actually gained I'd always been pretty like in between, like not too, I would say not too overweight and not too underweight. But my doctor started telling me, hey, like you want to be careful. This is like maybe around high school. No, 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 not high school, college. And y'all know freshman 15, I had a good solid freshman 20 in college, freshman 20. What's a freshman 15? It's when you gain weight. You gain 15 extra pounds that you wouldn't have gained because of your lifestyle. Your lifestyle completely changes. And I just love that. I kind of want to lean into that for a minute because we call things freshman 15. Like, I'm sorry, I'm seeing the bug. We call it freshman 15. I feel like to minimize the responsibility or to deflect the responsibility to, well, I gained 15 extra pounds because I'm a freshman and that's usually what freshmen do. But what does that mean? Like, why do we say freshman 15? And you know what? That freshman 15, some of us, our senior year, we were still trying to take off that freshman 15. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to know, like, why do we say that? Right now, pause the video and put in the comments below, like, why do you think we have coined this term, freshman 15, and what does it really mean? Go ahead and do it. Pause the video or pause the podcast and put it in the comments or put it in the review so that we can have this dialogue with one another. Let's get back to the video though. So, freshman 15, I had it. And I realized a couple things. One, the food where I am is different. Two, my lifestyle is different. Three, it's going to require me to respond. And however I respond, I'm going to experience the impact of those responses years later. So at first, when I got to college, I was honestly, and this is a part of just my story, my testimony, and I'm grateful for where God has brought me and is bringing me. But when I was a freshman, I drank a lot. I wasn't out smoking much. I didn't really smoke. I tried it. I tried drinking, and that kind of was my thing. Like I would drink, I would socially drink. There were jungle juice, um, you name it, just drink. And I wasn't drinking obsessively or excessively, but if you're drinking a significant amount every single week, you are going to gain weight. And I didn't understand that. I also would eat like pizza and college like food, like, just like bad food, like fast food, a bunch of that. And that's not, first of all, the food that I would eat at home. And two, my lifestyle wasn't go out every weekend when I was at home either. So something happened to where I came into a context where partying every weekend was normal, drinking every weekend was normal, eating crap every weekend was normal. Monday came around, I'm trying to eat a salad, pick up things that are similar to what I have at home, but it's not doing it because I go back that weekend in that same cycle. So I put on a significant amount of weight between my freshman and sophomore year. By the time I hit my junior year, this was COVID-19 period, I decided that I needed to do something. I needed to do something about my weight. And around sophomore year, I stopped eating meat. I stopped eating chicken at school. And I decided that junior year wasn't, I'm sorry, I mix up those times. COVID-19 is crazy. I'll be forgetting. Junior year, um, I was actually not, what's the word I'm looking for? Ooh, it was not COVID-19. My sophomore year was COVID-19, but it was like in the middle. So spring of my sophomore year, I was it was during COVID-19, and we didn't go back to campus up until my spring semester junior year. So I spent 2020 at home. And in 2020, I decided that I was going to fully lean into being plant-based. I didn't eat pizza. I didn't eat dairy. I didn't eat chicken. I didn't eat meat. I didn't eat beef. I didn't eat fish. I was completely plant-based. The only thing that I ate that is technically not vegan is honey, eggs, and then baked goods that were like made with milk, although I barely ate that too. Like I did a detox. I was praying. I was you know beginning to just like, and I started this in school right before the spring semester of my sophomore year, but I really leaned into it and I decided to add working out and all of that stuff. And I was at home, so I'm eating hearty foods and my family is able to support me and I don't have to be the one only cooking all by myself. And what am I trying to say? I get to the end of my 2020 into 2021 and I look good. I think I'm going to try on my YouTube and post like pictures of me during that time up on the screen here so that y'all could see like I looked good. And don't get me wrong, like I know that I look good right now. Like I look good. I love the way that I look right now, but that was prime. Like that was like I was glowing. Everywhere that I went, everybody was like, "Whoa." I mean, like if I put side by side, like I worked on myself, I invested in myself. And that's 1.2. Like I would recommend for you that's a freshman adult, you're emerging in adulthood, invest in yourself. If you are a new parent, you're a new dad, you're a new mom, or you're entering a new career, and we've already established like, hey, like anyone can be a freshman adult in any part of their lives. And like if you are in a new season or new transition, make sure that you are taking time to invest in yourself. Like 2020 was transition for everybody. We were learning about our world in a new way and how to, some of us took time to really lean into the Lord and spending time with God and really grounding ourselves in like truth and that required us to be honest and transparent with ourselves. We responded to that experience and that process, I think, in a positive way. And a lot of people, I think, responded in a negative way. I think there's a flip side to it where that period of time was actually traumatic for people. And some people made really bad decisions during that time. And I'm not even doing this to shame anybody, but I think that's just the reality of the matter that when life hits, when something happens, we have to make a choice to respond. Fast forward, I go back to campus, and long story short, I actually end up slowly gaining the weight back, but in a very different way. Like it's not unhealthy weight, it's not dead weight. That freshman 15 was I think a culmination of not only like physical weight but spiritual weight. I picked up I carried with me into school and also picked up while I was there like a bunch of different weights that like I did not need to carry. I mean, I was dealing with like a bad relationship that I had been in, very toxic. I brought that in with me. I also had really bad habits and addictions as well. And then picking up like a drinking habit, guys, that thing almost became an addiction. I just thank God, like, you don't, when you're in an environment where drinking every weekend is normal, you don't think that your drinking is a problem. But it is not normal to drink every single weekend, like large amounts of alcohol. I'm not talking about little wine. I'm talking about hard liquor every weekend. That is not normal. You can't function with, and granted, like, I think it's the grace of God. Like, I was able to be like, okay, I'm gonna choose to go to this party with y'all, but I'm not drinking. Like, like I had to realize, like, wait a minute. And a lot of times, as freshmen, adults, we enter into different contexts, and there's a culture, and we can forget ourselves and who we are. part of it, how, asking the question, how do I respond to that process? How do I embrace that process? Is not changing who you are. When I got to college, I started changing who I was to try and appeal to what I believed was the standard. But I knew better. I did things that I knew I was not only raised around, but I knew I was trained to understand it's not good for me in the long run. I'm not completely bashing, drinking as a whole, don't get me wrong, but there's a way to do it. And my parents did a great job at teaching me that, but I decided to abide by the context of where I was going instead of really embracing who I am. Part of the responding to a new process is really checking in with yourself and making sure that you're not changing who you are or changing your behavior out of fear, maybe fear of missing out or fear of being left out or fear of being rejected, or out of a desire to get gratification from someone or something. At a certain point in my college career, I had to make a decision on whether or not I was going to go to a party or not. Whether or not I was going to go to a party. Am I going to go just because everybody else is going? Or am I going to actually check in with myself and ask, do I want to go? Do I want to drink? Do I want to eat that? Do I really want that? Is it worth it in the long run? I just feel like that was very helpful for somebody. I don't know. I just feel that in my heart. Like, you don't have to change. Freshman adult, maybe you're a freshman going into school for the first time, college or high school, or you're navigating a new career path. You don't have to change who you are. You don't have to conform to the culture of the place you're entering into. In fact, you should stand out. You were uniquely created to show up in the space wherever that is, and there is nobody else in the world like you. So don't try and change who you are, because the world needs you. The world needs you uniquely showing up for you and the people around you. And this is a great transition in our last 5 minutes, or in our last maybe 2 minutes. How can I show up authentic? Why is it important, rather, for me to show up authentically in the process and respond? I think it requires, one, honesty. And when you have honesty, that is like the gateway to like transformation. When you're honest with yourself, it allows for you to really be positioned to be able to actually like get the thing that you're going for. So at the beginning of this, I talked about how I, in 2022, I gained weight 2018, 2019, 2020, I made a decision. I started getting the weight back slowly. 2022, the end of 2022, I decided I need to do something about my weight again, but I needed to do something different. And I needed to be honest with myself. And I realized it's not just that it's not just working out. It's not just eating. It's both. And I realized that I didn't understand something. And so I decided to make an investment in myself. People around me that I know and love were like, oh, like, don't worry about doing that. Like, you can just look up something, or you can just go to this, or save your money. Da, 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 da. And you know what? I appreciated all of that feedback. But you got to sometimes do what works best for you. And I know that if I have knowledge, I'm a nerd like that. Like, if I have a lack of knowledge in something, I'm going to do the same thing over and over again, expecting the same results. But if I invest in gaining knowledge and information, I will not forget that knowledge. I will not forget it. It will click. That is me. That's staying true to me. And I decided to make an investment in myself, and I didn't allow the decisions that other people thought would be best for me to sway me. I'm not saying you shouldn't seek advice, seek wisdom, pray, all of that. No. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is you don't have to compromise your own desires and what you feel deep in your heart you need to do in order to be successful and get your goal. Guess what, guys? I invested into a program that allowed for me to have a trainer and also get nutritional coaching. When I tell you the amount of breakthrough that occurred, but I learned something about myself. I learned that the process, which was about, I think, was it 6 months? It was about a 6 month program. Guys, when I tell you, in that 6 month program, bruh, I was going through it mentally. Cause that's where I learned I don't like process. That's where I learned this is a thorn for me. This is hard for me. I don't like process. Now talk to my coach and she'll say, hey, but remember your goal. My goal was to lose 15 pounds. And I did. But the process to doing it required a couple of things. One, it required honesty and transparency. When I didn't show up, when I didn't do what I was supposed to do, I had to be honest about that with myself, and I had accountability. That's the second one. I also had accountability, someone in my corner to check on me and ask me things, but to also to encourage me, a coach that can walk alongside me and say, hey, you got this. Remember your goal. Look, even though you maybe missed the gym today, you decided to go the next day. Something is happening and it's slow, and I have to be okay with the process, because what's happening is you want to lose weight. I know Ozempic and all this stuff is really popular. I am not dogging it. Don't hurt me. I'm not dogging it. But be careful with the stuff that you use. That gives you the instant gratification. Now, honestly, I don't even know how GLP-1 works. I don't even know if I even said that right. My point is this. All of the different gimmicks and diets and all that stuff that say, hey, you're going to be able to lose weight in an instant without doing nothing, without doing anything, are cute. But what happens when you get to the end of what it is, your goal, but you don't have the tools to actually maintain it? I lost a bunch of weight from going to the gym, but also mainly because of my plant-based diet. But I didn't have the mindset required to maintain that transformation. So this time I invested, it cost me something to get a professional who is trained to teach people how to not only go to the gym and work out properly and eat well, but think differently. How do you respond to your process? Freshman adult, that's all I give you today. Don't complain about the process, because the process is preparing you with tools that can help you maintain whatever it is your goal or promise is on the other side. Stay true to the course. Don't give up. That's something I've been literally dealing with. And I have so much more to talk about, but I'm running out of time. But I just wanted to say that. Stay true to the course. Don't allow the process of what you're going through, the difficulties, the challenges, the setbacks, the honesty that is required of you. You seeing different parts of yourself that could be ugly or that can be really challenging to face. Don't allow that to intimidate you. It's an opportunity for you to see, wait a minute, something is happening to me. And whatever that goal is that you desire to get, guess what? Because you endured in the middle, you'll be able to get to the end and maintain that thing, or maintain that goal, or maintain whatever it is that you're shooting for or aiming for. So I hope that encourages you today. If you like this, give it a thumbs up, a 5-star rating. Let me know in the comments below if you resonate. Please let me know, because I think this is something that I wish was talked about more. I hear people do talk about it, but I just want you to know, like, me and you both, I don't like that in between. I don't like the process of things like 6 months of going to the gym every day. I'm not seeing the result right away. But guess what? I ended up losing 15 pounds, and now I gonna have to do it again. because I'm in a different period. I went through a different load of experiences and stuff, and it just happens. You put a little bit of weight on, you gain a little weight, but I will never be the same. I think about gym differently. I think about working out differently, and I know that the process is worth it because it changes me and it makes the transformation more sustainable. So thank you again for watching this episode. I can't wait to see you in the next one. That's all I have. I'll talk to you later. And don't forget to share this podcast with someone else so that other freshman adults can tune in, i.e. like you and me. All right. I'm Nicole-Bethany again, your host of the Freshman Adult Podcast, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.